The moment he said it, the church fell silent. She's just here for the money. Dad was going to cut her off. My brother's voice sliced through the air like a blade. Every head turned, every eye on me. My fingers tightened around the edge of the pew, but I didn't flinch. I just stared at him. The casket behind us gleamed under the stained glass light, mahogany, polished, final. He'd always wanted an audience. Now he had one. Then the church doors creaked open. A man in a black suit walked in, carrying a small silver USB drive. The lawyer. My father's lawyer. The murmurs died instantly. He walked to the front, connected the drive to the projector, and the screen flickered to life. The sound of static filled the silence before my father's face appeared, alive, speaking from beyond the grave. His expression calm, eyes heavy with that same quiet authority that once ruled our childhood. He looked straight into the camera and said 3 words, "Play my game." And that's when it all began. 2 years earlier. My brother, Daniel, used to call me Dad's favorite. Maybe I was. Maybe that's why he hated me. After Mom died, I stayed. I managed the estate, handled the business meetings, cared for Dad when the illness started eating away at him. Daniel flew in for holidays, snapped pictures for social media, then vanished again. When the will drafts began, Daniel's visits increased. Suddenly, he cared. Suddenly, he was the devoted son. But Dad wasn't naive. He noticed the sudden affection, the expensive gifts that came from Dad's money. He didn't say much, but I saw the way his jaw tightened when Daniel laughed too loud. Still, I didn't think much of it, until the night I overheard them. It was late. I had just finished organizing Dad's medication when I heard whispers in his study. "Daniel, you don't need her. She's bleeding you dry." "Dad, watch your mouth." "Daniel, you're giving her everything." Then a pause, a long, cold pause. "Dad, you're not ready for responsibility. You never were." I remembered Daniel's reply, low, venomous. "Then maybe you won't live long enough to see me prove you wrong." He didn't know I was standing outside the door. That night, I started recording everything. Phone calls, documents, meetings. I copied his emails, traced his transfers. I didn't know what I was planning, only that I needed evidence, proof of the rot beneath his charm. Because deep down, I knew what Daniel was capable of. When Dad's condition worsened, Daniel started coming around daily. He'd insist on handling the medications, taking calls with the doctors. I played along. I let him think I trusted him. But I switched the bottles. Mine were labeled identically. Only mine contained the real doses. His were harmless. I watched him give Dad the wrong pills, smiling through his lies. And every night, I documented everything. Date, time, dosage, his hand on the bottle. When Dad passed away, the autopsy was clear, natural causes. The medications matched the prescription. Because I made sure they would. But the real test hadn't begun yet. The funeral. After my brother's accusation, after my father's face appeared on the screen, the lawyer pressed play again. Dad's recorded voice filled the hall. "If you're watching this, I'm gone. And if you're accusing each other already, you've learned nothing from me." He paused, then smiled faintly. "I left instructions. My assets are not to be divided immediately. Instead, I've hidden something, a key. Whoever finds it will inherit everything." The crowd gasped. Daniel's smugness faltered. He leaned forward. "What the hell is this?" But I just sat still. I already knew. Because I helped Dad record that message. Dad and I made a deal before he died. He knew Daniel would come for the money. He also knew I didn't want it, not like that. So he designed a test, a game. What Daniel didn't know was that the key wasn't real. It was a setup, a trap to expose greed. Every clue, every letter Dad left behind pointed to Daniel's actions, his secret transfers, his threats, his voice messages, the ones I'd quietly slipped into Dad's computer months earlier. The moment Daniel accessed the files, the system would notify the lawyer and display everything. His manipulation, his stolen funds, his attempt to alter Dad's will. It took less than 24 hours. By the next morning, the lawyer called an emergency meeting. Everyone watched as video files appeared on the big screen. Daniel entering Dad's office, swapping envelopes, shredding documents, pocketing cash. He went pale. The evidence was irrefutable. He tried to speak, but no sound came out. The lawyer cleared his throat. According to Mr. Reynolds' will, any attempt to interfere with or alter its contents results in automatic disinheritance. Silence. Daniel's voice cracked. "You can't do this!" The lawyer gestured to the screen, where Dad's face appeared once more. "Oh, I can," Dad said, in that calm, commanding tone.